Your insubordination will not be tolerated.
You are listening to the Northwest Indiana Wrestling Action Program on WVLP 103.1 FM in Valparaiso, Indiana. Okay, let's try this again. I'm Ken the Metal Professor, and I am here at St. Mary Hildebrandt Hall in Griffith, Indiana for the wrestling event, Backbreaker Wrestling's Hammerlocked. And I say I'm trying this again because it's actually intermission and about to go into the second half of the show. There were 3 matches in the first half of the show that I was recording sounds and commentary for, and realized that at some point between setting up all of my stuff and getting it ready to go and the actual act of recording, my inputs on the laptop had switched from the mixing board and the good microphones to just the crappy little laptop mic, which means that I just spent, a bunch of time recording audio from, crowd noise, but nothing I was saying was getting recorded. And by itself, I don't know if the crowd noise is that helpful. So we're going to get the second half underway. And I'll give you an update on what went on in the first half. 3 matches in the first half. The first half, it concluded with a tag team championship match. Ace and Highball, the Top Guns, defending their tag team championships against the Masters, Shooter McGavin and Kurt Joseph.
To do something really special, to honor somebody who has been one of our sponsors since we got started, since day one. Somebody that danced at my wedding.
Nope, something's going on here.
And left the doors open so we could hang out there all night. Jim from Creative Comics, would you please make me a cheer?
A little moment of recognition for Jim Rohn, who owns Creative Comics in Griffith. It's a fun little store. I've been there. He's successfully maneuvered over the ropes to get in the ring.
Hey Jim, you've been a wrestling fan for like a really long time, right? Yeah, because you're really old. But I was wondering, like, when Hulk Hogan and stuff would go to one side of the crowd and see if they were loud and go to the other side, why don't you take your WrestleMania moment?
Okay, so while Jim goes around and gets the crowd involved, I'll pick up the story of the first half, which did conclude with the Top Guns actually losing the tag team championships to the Masters kind of suddenly and out of the blue. Kurt Joseph did a neckbreaker sort of move on Ace of the Top Guns and got the pinfall. That was surprising. So while Jim was in the ring getting the crowd riled up, Drex Odell, the Manchester hooligan, wearing an eye patch and a long black coat, has come out to the ring. And he's offended that Jim was in the ring because the ring is for wrestlers only. Oh, and as Jim was getting out of the ring between the ropes and was straddling the second rope to bend down, Odell kicked the rope upwards and crotched him with the rope, and now he's actually kicking him while he's on the ground. Now Jim's son, who is security for Backbreaker, got into the ring to try to intervene. Now Cade Lee has come out. Cade Lee is not having any of this. Now Cade Lee is escorting Jim away from the ring, making sure that he's in between Jim and Drex Odell. All right, so in this lull, I've managed to tell you about the tag team match in the first half where the Top Guns lost the Backbreaker Wrestling Tag Team Championships to the Masters. The first two matches before that revolved around Austin Fury and his little crew of Richie Rothschild and Kevin Graves. The first match was Austin Fury against Dave Allen, which involved a lot of shenanigans of Kevin Graves and Richie Rothschild getting involved in the match when they shouldn't. Eventually it was won by Dave Allen, I believe. After that match, Dick Davis came to the ring to make an open challenge, and he tried to egg on one of the three between Fury, Rothschild, and Kevin Graves. And Richie Rothschild ended up taking the challenge. During that match, again, there was interference from the outside. At one point, Richie Rothschild brought in some brass knuckles while the ref was distracted, but Davis ducked and clobbered Rothschild and managed to get the brass knuckles for himself. And at this point, the referee had turned around and saw what was going on, and he knew that Davis hadn't brought in the brass knuckles, but now he did have them, and Davis lost his cool, and he attacked Richie Rothschild with the brass knuckles right in sight of the ref, and so the ref had to disqualify him. So those were the three matches in the first half for which I do not have audio now, but hopefully things will be going better during the second half of the show. Cliff Caviar has come to the ring, and it looks like he has a manager with him now, Scott Powers. Caviar has dispensed with the green money robe, and now he's wearing a sparkly longer black coat that's got gold trim, and he's got a flat-brimmed black hat. Kind of looks like a mix between a circus ringmaster and a bullfighter. But it is luxurious. It's very sparkly.
And his opponent, weighing in at 185 pounds, this is the Sunset Strip Sensation, Johnny Motley!
And here comes Johnny Motley. And so the first match of the second half is Cliff Caviar against Johnny Motley, and we'll see what happens. So the bell has rung. There is a little bit of kind of playing around before the start of the match with Motley hopping up in a position of rest on the ring ropes. Ref Oscar did ring the bell, and immediately before they locked up, Cliff Caviar dropped down and rolled outside of the ring. His new manager, Scott Powers, patted him on the back like that was a smart thing to do. But now Caviar's back in the ring, and he's in an arm lock from Motley. The crowd's reacting to Caviar with their opinion of him. That thud was Caviar dropping Motley in a sidewalk slam right onto his back. Scott Powers tried to get up on the ring apron and mess with Johnny Motley, but Motley was wise and didn't get himself into that situation. The ref turned around and actually saw what was happening. In the meantime, Caviar tried to attack Motley from behind. Motley ducked out of the way, and Caviar almost clobbered his own manager, but stopped just in time. And then Motley tried for a quick roll-up on Caviar, but it didn't work. And so Caviar is on top now, trying to pin Motley. Only a 2 count. As managers do, Powers insists that 2 equals 3, which it doesn't. I teach math. I know these things. Motley just hit Caviar with a sling blade and then a clothesline and then an elbow. Now he's up for a slam. And he's now trying to decide which corner to climb to the top on. He's up on the top turnbuckle and flying elbow right on top of Caviar. Oh, Caviar kicks out. That training is paying off for Caviar. What do you know? And that time Motley got him with a super kick. And the ref was able to count 3, so there you go. Johnny Motley defeats Cliff Caviar.
Your winner, via pinfall, Johnny Motley!
Motley has left the ring area, but Caviar and his manager are still hanging out. Manager Scott Powers is berating the crowd. And the crowd is serenading Caviar on his way. High Society's come to the ring for their match. When they got to the ring, Thomas Keith demanded that ref Zoran be the one to lower the ropes so that he could get through. And they're going to take on Gabe the Brave Juarez and Billy the Kid, it looks like. You know, for a somewhat random pairing, Gabe the Brave and Billy the Kid look remarkably tag teamish. Both of their outfits, which are the ones they normally wear, are all red and black. Billy the Kid has some kind of tassels down his legs on the outside. Gabe has some tassels on his outfit too. Ref Zoran's calling for the bell, but nobody's on duty. Oh, there it goes. Ref Zoran's having a rough weekend. He had a rough night at Acme Championship Wrestling last night. 2 messy tag team matches and then a main event which he got clobbered. And now he's got to deal with High Society again. Poor guy. That was Gabe the Brave, who is a large individual, doing a cannonball onto both members of High Society in the corner. Gabe smacking Young Money, and again with the knife edge chop, and then a headbutt. That was a big high body drop. Young Money is not doing well right now. And there's a tag for Billy the Kid to come in, and we'll see how this goes. Another knife edge chop. Gabe the Brave and Young Money are up in the ring. Gabe's about to take Young Money up and over the ropes, back into the ring. Oh, but Keith grabbed Gabe the Brave's feet so that Young Money came down on top of him. Ref Zoran didn't see it. And High Society get the pin. But now Gabe has reached over and he's dragging Keith in by the hair. But it was 2-on-1 and Young Money got him from the other side. Oh, and now Ref Zoran's getting thrown out of the ring by High Society. His tough weekend continues. Billy the Kid's come in to even things up now. And he's kicked both of High Society out of the ring. So now Billy the Kid and Gabe the Brave own the ring, and High Society is on the outside. And they are retreating. The spooky Halloween music is playing, and Scott Powers came out through the curtain first and then introduced the Beast. The crowd's kind of scared, freaked out, all of the above. The Beast is short but wide. His trunks come up to his rib cage. And I don't know who he's going to be facing. Yep, you can tell by the happy pop music that it's time for a caveman. Trog the Caveman is the Backbreaker Wrestling Heavyweight Champion. I guess this will be a championship match. So indeed, this is the main event. Trog the Caveman defending his Backbreaker Wrestling Heavyweight Championship against Wildman Beast, who is accompanied by his manager, Scott Powers. He's looking quite dapper in a black suit and gray tie, dark sunglasses. and a scowl on his face. There's probably about 800 pounds of humanity in the ring right now, counting the ref, but he doesn't make up very much of that. Nothing's really happened yet for the first couple minutes of this match, except the two sort of circling each other around the ring. But eventually Wildman Beast pulled ref Oscar over into a corner to distract him, while Scott Powers choked Wildman Beast in the other corner with a cane. And then it looks like Wildman Beast came over and bit Caveman on the head, and he's doing it again. He's biting him. And while the ref is pushing Beast away, Scott Powers is grabbing onto and attacking Trog the Caveman from the outside. Now Wildman Beast pulled Trog the Caveman to his feet by his beard and then headbutted him in the belly. And a big elbow drop from Beast onto Trog. I wonder if the sentence elbow drop from Beast onto Trog is a sentence that's ever been uttered before in the history of humanity. That's unlikely. Trog the Caveman was down flat on his back in the ring, and Wildman Beast stood over him and then butt dropped all of his 400 pounds onto Trog's midsection. In the meantime, Scott Powers has gone over to the timekeeper's table and taken the heavyweight belt. And he's showing Trog that he now has the belt in his hands. Now Powers is up on the ring apron. And then Trog hit him. And now the Beast hit him by accident, and Trog rolls up the Beast with a fast 3 count. Wow, that 3 count was the fastest thing that happened in this whole match. Trog the Caveman remains your Backbreaker Wrestling Heavyweight Champion. And that'll do it. Thanks to my bad audio skills, you got a recap of the first half, some live audio from the second half. That's the end of Backbreaker Wrestling Show Hammerlock from the St. Mary Hildebrandt Center in Griffith, Indiana. The Northwest Indiana Wrestling Action Program will be back on the road sometime later this month. And I think you could hear that. The next Backbreaker event will actually be April 20th, right back here at the St. Mary Complex in Griffith. Tickets are only $10. It's a good family event. Stop by, say hi.